Wow, this kid is really good. Some time ago I could say, yeah, he's good, but I can do it too. Unfortunately, I don't have a piano so that I could show you. No, I still don't have a piano, but with just the basic knowledge of Python programming, I can create my own virtual piano. And I am going to show you how to do it. So first, let's warm up and design our piano. We need to import the simple GUI module. Let's start with defining our frame. So it is going to have a rectangular shape. I will set the background to be gray. Let's write a comment that will start our frame, and now let's move on to the draw handler. We will be adding the new features progressively. You will be able to see the changes in the design under our code. So I added black lines on three sides of our piano. Then I created a white line that is going to represent our piano's keys. But now it's just one key, so let's use for function in order to draw 10 vertical lines and cut our huge button into 8 smaller ones. Each one of them will be 100 pixels wide. Okay, so it starts to remind the piano, but let's add a thick black line at the bottom of the keys and thin the one at the top in order to get a small 3D effect. And last but not least, every keyboard needs a speaker, so let's use our function for again to create 10 thin horizontal lines. So we've built our piano. Now let's make him play. Of course we would like to play on the keyboard of our computer, so let's choose 8 keys. In my program they will be letters from A to K, looking horizontally of course. And now we would like to assign each letter to each key of our virtual piano. Let's assume that each of them has its own index, counting from 0 to 7. We will assign each index to the letter by using the dictionary. Okay, we press the letter, we want the index of the piano's key back. How can we achieve that? First, let's make a new variable current key. It will tell us which letter we are currently pressing on. So first it will be an empty string. Let's define our key down handler. We are going to refer to the variable current key, so let's make it a global variable. So for each of the letters that we choose to be our virtual buttons, let's check if the button that we are pressing is one of them. If it is, let's assign the variable current key to be CHR sign of the key that we are pressing. Why we are using the CHR function? If we press the button on our computer's keyboard, it tells him that we are pressing the key with particular number. It doesn't tell him what letter is that. CHR function converts the number of the key into the particular letter. So the index that we are looking for is the value of our dictionary for argument of the letter that we have pressed. So we've managed to describe which keys are pressing on the real keyboard. Now let's try to press our virtual keys. For this purpose we will create a new class called pressedButton. The only argument that this class will need will be the index of the button that we are pressing. For example, when we will press the letter A, our key down handler will convert it into the index 0, and with index 0 we will create new push button. In other words, we will push the button with index 0. Our visualization of the fact that one of the piano's keys was pushed will look like this. In order to do it, all we have to do is draw a white line at the bottom of the pressed key. If we want to draw a line, we need three things: coordinates of the beginning, coordinates of ending, and size of the line. In our case, the size and vertical coordinates of beginning and ending will be constant values. What about the horizontal coordinates? If we would like to draw a line under the first key, horizontal coordinate of beginning would be the same as the horizontal coordinate of the thick white line. In our case, it will be equal to 100 pixels, and the coordinate of the ending will be equal to the beginning's value increased by the thickness of the key, which is 100 pixels. I subtracted 1 pixels from each side for better effect. If we would like to draw a line under the second key, both values will be increased by thickness of 1 key. For the third key, they will be increased by 2 thickness. Can you see the pattern? We can describe each of the horizontal coordinates like this. The beginning will be equal to 101 plus thickness of the button, which is 100 pixels, times the index of pushed button. The end of the line will be equal to 199 plus 100 times index. With that information, we can now add our draw pattern to our class. And now, let's add that method into our draw handler. Remember that when you are using a method described in particular class, you have to call it by writing object that method. In our case, it will be button.drawCanvas. Don't forget that we are referring to the global value button. Remember that we would like to draw that white line only if particular button is patched. So let's make a new variable button is patched and set the value of this variable to false. It is obvious that if we will hit any button, the value will turn true. So let's add a line in our kDown handler. If the k will be up, the statement will be false again. Now let's make a condition. If the button is patched, then we can draw our white line. Remember that we have to determine button is patched and button as a global variables. Let's check if our animation works. Right now I am clicking at random keys from A to K, all seems fine. So let's move on to the most important part of this program, the sound. Our piano has 8 keys. Each one will represent the sound from range of C-dur. I've recorded each one of them and uploaded them into my Dropbox. Each one of them is in format MP3. So if the sound doesn't load, maybe it's because you are using the wrong Explorer. So for 8 links I've created 8 variables and then I've created a list of that variables. Let's go back to our patched button for a while. Now we are going to connect our list of sound with our patched button. Dependent on which button is pressed, different sound will come from our speakers. Let's define 2 methods: play sound and stop sound. We need access to global variable sound. All we need to do is order the program to play the sound with the same index as our patched button. If we would like to hit the same button again in a short period of time, we need to stop the previous sound first. So let's determine if our button is currently playing. We will do it in the same way as we did with the isButtonPatched variable. If it plays, we first need to stop the sound. Then we can move on to playing it one more time. Okay, so it seems like our program is finished. Let's play something. As you can hear, everything's worked fine. So I hope that you will create your own keyboard. Good luck and thanks for watching.